Are you still buying gas, groceries, and fast food without getting cash back? Why are you doing that? You could be getting cash back on all of these things. And not like, here's some credits to use at this store again and some points. This is cash. This is money on your phone that you can then deposit straight into your PayPal and then put that into your bank account. Over the last 2 years, I have earned $299.39 on Upside. Now, they have cashback offers at all kinds of places. Circle K, Lion's Choice, local random restaurants, Papa Murphy's, Phillips 66, Huck's, all kinds of places now. You can get cash back just for shopping there. All you have to do is give them the last 4 digits of your card, and then they just make sure that you use those same cards at these places and give you cash back on the app. When you go to get the app, use the invite code Janice3538. That's JANICE 3538 to get an automatic 15 cents back per gallon on your first transaction using the app. This year, I'm using the money that we save up for Christmas. It's May, and I've only used it a couple of times on things other than gas, and I already have almost $60 saved up for Christmas for the kids this year. I'm hoping to have about $200 saved up, which doesn't sound far-fetched, especially because now they're offering it at over 50 different local restaurants and 50 different nationwide companies. So like I said, get the app, Upside. That's UPSIDE, and use the invite code Janice3538 to get 15 cents per gallon back on your first transaction. Upside doesn't share any of your personal information with your referral network, so you don't have to worry about like your friends who you refer to the app knowing everything you do and everywhere you shop. Same with people who you are referred from, so don't worry. No one's going to know all the things that you buy.
You dumb fucking bitch!
Bitch.
Bitch!
You bitch! The nigger bitch!
Heinous bitch is the
Fucking bitch.
Bitch.
You're a bitch!
The bitch.
Hi, yes, hello. I'm here again. This week's episode might be a lot shorter than normal just because this topic, it's about culture shocks that people experience when they come to America. But when you ask people from other countries, they have like the same 5 answers. So I had to dig really hard to find any kind of differences in answers because they're all annoyed about like the same 3 things, 5 things, whatever it is. There's also going to be a small portion of me just ranting because this triggered me hard. Like, the way that other people talk about America is the way that they think that we see other countries, and it is so fucking hypocritical. It's hilarious. But I'll get into that soon. I'm going to do musical feature first. First musical feature. Let's see. All right. It is Miss Faith Rose. She doesn't have a very big following on TikTok, but she's got kind of a big following on Instagram. She's got like 3,000 followers on Instagram, which if you know anything about Instagram, that's fucking hard to do, okay? It's really hard to get followers on Instagram. I thought it was hard to get followers on TikTok. No. Instagram is where it's hard to get people to follow you. Jesus fuck. Anyway, she had like 3K followers over there. She has a beautiful voice, and I really like this song. And dear Andrew, please remix this. Go find her. She's on Spotify and SoundCloud, I think. But you need to remix this song. It's great. Anyway, no further ado. This is Miss Faith Rose with Different Kind of Holy.
Take me, close your eyes, memorize my body. Break me, let me introduce you to a different holy. Tell me, what's your favorite way to sin? Take me, let me introduce you to a different holy.
Like 100% that song is going on my Songs to Sleep To playlist because her voice is so dreamy. I will link her TikTok and her Spotify in the show notes. I don't have anything exciting that happened this week. Except I moved some shit around in my living room, so now I actually have a place to put my record player and all my vinyls. I also rearranged my office studio area. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, I posted the videos there. I have like an hour and a half long video that I recorded of myself actually organizing it, but my phone doesn't want to like do anything with it. There's something going on with my phone camera. I don't know what's wrong with it. Every time I try to open my camera to like take a picture or a video, it wigs out. Like it goes nuts. I don't even know how to explain it. And I also can't record it because I can't record my phone on my phone. So yeah, it's fantastic. Social time. We have wax this week because, fun story. We bought a Puffco Plus. I don't know if anybody else has ever had one. I was really excited because you don't have to like constantly touch it into things. It's not like an e-nail. It's more like an all-in-one device. So like you load it up and the coil is on the inside of it. So it just heats it internally. But it's fucked up. Like there's something wrong with the battery. So you can charge it and it will work for maybe one hit and then it'll say that it's dead. So I filed a warranty claim. We literally bought it yesterday and it wouldn't work, but we can't take it back to where we got it from because we got it from a dispensary and like you just can't do that. With most places, if you buy a vape device, you have to work through the company you got it from or like that manufactures it, not the place where you bought it because they're not going to, they do not care. Okay. They just do not care. Anyway, social, it's on my seahorse, so it's probably going to be just dead fucking radio silence for a minute because this thing is pretty quiet. Or it's not, and you'll hear it. Either way, cheers. I always feel bad because like I know from media and just like the way that it's portrayed, people are like, oh, somebody's going to smoke before they do something. It's going to be so exciting because of Brandy. I don't know if my listeners know who Brandy is, but Brandy started on Facebook, I think it was. She takes edibles and gets really fucked up and then does like really bad cursed cosplay. And she's fucking hilarious. Like she's fucking hilarious. But like, the amount of fucked up that she gets, I want to experience that. And I can't because I can't take edibles because if you didn't know, if you don't have a gallbladder, you can't metabolize fat the way that everybody else does. So if it's a fat concentrated product, like if it's like if fat is the carrier, it's hard to explain. If fat is the carrier in the product, I can't metabolize it. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't get me high. It doesn't make me tired. I literally am just like, cool, that was a really yummy gummy. Thanks. Yay. But like, I can't do any of the foods. I've tried every kind. I have a Levo, for fuck's sake. I bought a Levo oil infuser before I even knew that I couldn't metabolize fat. So like, I'm just out here with an oil infuser for no fucking reason. My favorite thing to infuse is butter, of course, but like I like to make Rice Krispie treats. Even if they don't get me high, they taste really fucking good. So yeah, I'm going to get into everything. We're going to start kind of backwards from what I normally would, where I'm going to start with the smallest sections and then the biggest one. And then I'm going to go into my big, long, giant fucking rant that I typed out because this just annoyed me. You'll see why. So, like I said, culture shocks when moving to America. First one is in a professional, and it's a really tiny little section because there's not really too many things professional life-wise that are different in America than other places, except for that we're all obsessed with working. Like here in America, that's your whole life. And if that wasn't already apparent by living in America, just so you know, like that's the way it is here. I mean, think about it. Whenever you're meeting somebody for the first time, most of the time you find out what they do. Like, that's one of the first things you find out about somebody when you're meeting them is what their line of work is. Because money is God in America. A big thing was teenagers working. It seemed barbaric to have teenagers working as young as 14. This is for somebody who is from India. They said that it just like blew their mind to see teenagers working outside the home. That is not something that they do most of the time in India. They see it as just crazy that younger kids would be reliant upon themselves and not their families. But also going along with that, in a lot of other countries, the families live together for their whole lives. They never move out of the family home. They all stay together. So that's another cultural huge difference that we have that plays a part in that also. Paper mail. A lot of countries went paperless, so they don't get paper mail anymore. So some people coming in from foreign countries were astounded at the amount of paper mail that we get, but we have no control over that. Like, we all know it's 90% of it is junk mail, and we can't do anything to stop that. Like, we wish we could. I want to stop all of the random fucking shit that comes to my house in the mail, where half the time I check the mail, I'm just checking the mail to put things in the recycling. There's nothing of substance in there. Except for, like last week where a whole bunch of fucking Christians tried to tell me how to get to heaven. That was a great use of paper and an envelope, let me tell you. Let's see. Punctuality is highly revered here, whereas other places, not all other places, just some other places, being 5 or 10 minutes late isn't a big deal. Whereas here in America, we all know if you're 5 or 10 minutes late, somebody will just cancel a meeting or cancel whatever it is because they assume you're not going to show up. Even though now we all have the ability to reach out to one another via the tiny computers in our hands 24/7 and say, hey, I'm going to be late. There's traffic. Or literally, I send pictures like, here, this is what's happening. Figure it out. Next section is going to be commercial. The diversity in products is just crazy to a lot of people from other countries. The fact that we have 12 different flavors of everything. And then when you have those 12, you also have like low fat, no carbs, all of those different things. And there's usually a spicy version of everything. In a lot of different countries, they will have just potato chips, or just cookies, or just whatever. Here we have 9 million different versions of everything, which some people are like, oh my God, I can't stand it. Whereas here we just like choices. And this goes into my rant. Like, a lot of things will feed into the rant parting of it all. Like, you'll understand what I mean when I say this will also be addressed in the rant. So somebody from Kuwait is somebody who pointed that out on Quora. They said that was something they really noticed, was just the diversity of product choices. Doing things for yourself, like pumping gas, packing up leftovers, carrying luggage. Same person from Kuwait said that was like jarring to them, that they had to pack their own stuff up at the restaurant. Like, the server didn't take their plate away and pack their food up, which I only know that some restaurants do that. This is embarrassing, but I only know this from watching Kitchen Nightmares, the original seasons where Gordon's over in the UK. That's the only reason that I know that other places pack up your leftovers for you. Otherwise, I would have not known that wasn't normal, because to me, I don't want people touching my food. Like, and also, as a server, I've only had to do that one time when I was a waitress. I had one single time a customer asked me to box up their stuff, and it grossed me out because, like, I don't want to touch or almost touch food that you've eaten. And also, I wouldn't want somebody else touching my plate. Like, it's just weird to me. Like, I don't know. That really grosses me out. Like, I would be freaked out going to another country and they, like, take my plate away. I'm like, no, I will do that. I'm a grown-up. I can put food into a box. Thank you. Also, like, pumping gas. I've heard that not just when doing research for this. I've heard that in other places, how people from other countries will move here, and it's their first time driving, and they'll pull up to a gas pump, and they'll just, like, sit there forever waiting for somebody to come out and pump their gas. Yeah, we do it all ourselves here. Unless you're in, I think it's Utah. One state won't let you pump your own gas. There's like one state, I think, where you're not allowed to pump your own gas. And it was a big to-do a couple of years ago when everybody found out about it. Everyone's like, you can't pump your own gas. And they're like, yeah, it's dangerous. And we're like, no, it's not. We do it every day. What are you talking about? So that was a big deal to somebody from Kuwait, also carrying your luggage. Now, I feel like it's a situational thing. Like, of course, if you go to the Hilton, they're going to take your luggage for you. Like, duh. But if you go to the Days Inn down the road, they're not doing anything for you, let alone carrying your luggage. So that really is a situational thing to me. But apparently in other countries, especially in Kuwait, everything is a service that is done for you. You don't do a lot of things yourself. All right, this was a big one. And so my number one top listener is Andrew, who is my twin. Hi, Andrew. So I had him. He is a transplant from the UK. So I sent him an email and asked him to send me some things that were a culture shock to him. So this is one of them is refills. He said most European restaurants charge for refilling drinks every time, and it's jarring to just be able to drink as much as you want and not pay extra. He said that's why you'll sometimes see Europeans like literally slurping the last of their sodas out before they leave a restaurant, because for them, it's normal to have to pay for every drink that you drink. So to them, it's like you're wasting money to not finish that soda, which I used to be like that until I started going to restaurants where they give you legit a liter of cola. They give you, the restaurant we went to for lunch today, we went to Mexican. The drink they give you is legitimately 64-ounce cup. It is obnoxious. You don't need refills, which it totally makes sense because they get really busy. Like, I've always known this is why they do that. They get the biggest cups possible. They don't use too much ice, and their soda has like the perfect proportion of carbonation to syrup. So it's my favorite place in the world is this one Mexican restaurant that we go to. But that's why they use such big cups and have high quality soda and everything, is so that they don't have to waste time going around checking if people need refills. It just makes it easier for them, which I do not blame them. I'm here for it. It makes your serving job so much easier, which anything to make serving easier, I'm about it. Fuck that. It is the hardest job on this planet. People are horrible. I'm telling you, 99% of the reason that I am a fucking cunt is because I was in the service industry for 10 fucking years and was just emotionally, verbally, physically abused by grown-ass women. Mostly grown-ass women. That is like the only sector in which I won't say that men are the worst, is in the service industry. Women are the worst. They really are. A lot of men aren't picky, so like, it's not an issue. Like, they just don't care if something gets messed up. They'll just deal with it. No, not women. Nope. We suck, okay? We fucking suck when it comes to being customers. The fucking worst. Ever. Ugh. So, really funny thing that I saw, not just on this, I've actually seen it mentioned a couple times some places on TikTok, is how high our toilet water is. Apparently, our toilet water is like 6 inches higher than a lot of places in the rest of the world. So people literally feel like they're going to fall in or touch the water. So that's just a lot different. Drive-through pharmacies aren't a thing in most other countries, and that really freaks people out when they come here and they realize they can drive through and get their medicine. I don't see it as weird, honestly. And a big thing I didn't put this anywhere because we all talk about this pretty openly about how Europeans complain about our dependency on cars, on individual family cars, but then also complain about how we drive 8 or 12 hours to go places. We have no choice. That will be in the rant later also. Okay, we have no choice. We really have no choice. Cars are literally our whole lives over here, and we can't do anything about it. It has nothing to do with us. We cannot change that. Us as citizens. Okay? That's in the rant. So, and having to decide on so many things when ordering food, that really annoyed a lot of foreign people. Like, if you go out to eat, they'll ask you how you want your steak cooked, what kind of dressing you want on your salad, if you want anything extra on your potatoes, what kind of side do you want, you have to answer all these questions, and that's very annoying for a lot of people. It's annoying for me, too. Like, I just want to tell you the exact things I want to eat, and then just give me that. I don't like it how, and I've worked at some of these restaurants where they're like, you can't do any substitutions. Why? Why can I not? Why can I not do any substitutions? All this shit costs barely anything. You're raking the coals in profits here. And I know that it's a matter of me literally walking back and being like, hey, Josh, this person wants a side salad instead of fries. Thanks. Like, yeah, that is the extent of the work that is taken to do those kinds of things. But they always make it seem like the biggest fucking problem. And I've worked in like 12 restaurants. So this is not just, this one restaurant. No, all restaurants. Every single restaurant has some kind of bullshit like that. I also don't understand like major chain restaurants not taking more than one coupon. Why the fuck do you care? Like, you're making so much money. You could pay all your employees $30 an hour and still make billions of dollars a year. Let somebody use 2 coupons. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. All right, so now we're going to go to the professional ones. Or the personal ones, excuse me. The personal ones. Now, these are, you can tell that people have preconceived notions going into this and then held on to those preconceived notions throughout without giving anyone a chance to change them. So, this was across the board. Every single one of these people who were asked, including Andrew, about the culture shock when coming to America is everyone is too friendly. Everyone talks to everyone as if they'd known them forever, and everyone apologizes for seemingly innocuous things. Like, it is just a thing over here. We talk a lot, and we're real friendly. I'm going to blame it on Ronald Reagan just because we can blame everything on Ronald Reagan. But I honestly think it does have a lot to do with him and Nancy and like them perpetuating this like perfect American family where everyone was cordial and sweet and nice. And we all loved each other as long as you were white and Christian and you were rich. But you have to love your neighbor and be sweet and keep sweet, pray and obey. But that's what I feel a lot of it has to come back to that. Like he literally was like, we're all white. We're great. Let's be white and great. Everyone must be white and great. And like, that's, everyone has to be in a good mood. Everyone has to be in a good mood all the time. And if you're not, especially women, if we aren't anything but the most happy, pleasant little fucking babies, you should smile. You'd be a lot pretty if you smiled. Somebody from another country needs to let me know if this happens in other countries or if this is seriously just an American thing. And it's not just American men. I have had other women tell me to smile, and it makes me want to punch them even more than it makes me want to punch men because I want to be like, bitch, have you not experienced this motherfucking bullshit in your life too? Have you not been told what to do with your face by a dumbass with a dick who thinks that he's in charge of you? The fuck? Ew, the call is coming from inside the house. Ew, it's so gross. But I absolutely can't stand our toxic positivity. It's disgusting. And that's another, like, 2 things down. Everyone's always so happy and positive about everything. In the UK, people are pretty much natural. If you ask them how they're doing, they'll say, all right. And they'll just, like, walk away or, not too bad. But here, we're great. Everything's great. I had a great day. But if they give you the real answer, you are going to get someone's life story and you are not allowed to run away or you're rude. Like, don't run away from somebody's story or you're rude. You're rude. A lot of people are super helpful in America. And that's because we are so open and are, supposed to be positive or happy or whatever. We can appear as over emotional to a lot of foreigners who visit here, and that's bad to a lot of them. A lot of countries value reservation. You don't really show your emotions in public. You don't raise your voice in public. You just don't, none of that leaves the house. So to them, us being really over dramatic and over emotional can be like very upsetting sometimes, which is like, I don't know, sorry. So this is a hill that Andrew will die on. He made sure to let me know this. Our use of cutlery. In the UK, they use their cutlery in the opposite hands as we do. As well as they have like a whole different way of using them. And this is regionally argued about between Europeans, and depending on who you talk to and where they are from, they will have a different opinion and they will think it is the only correct way to use them. And he said that it has caused fights. Did not know that the way you use your cutlery is a big fucking deal in the UK, but apparently it is. I didn't know that. Washing machines not being in the kitchen. It annoys every single person not from America. A lot of people mentioned it. I didn't think I needed to mention it, but guns. We all know that they don't like about the guns here. Like, we know. We know. Okay? It's like we get it. We know you don't like the guns here. A lot of us don't like the guns here. What do you want us to do? Rant part. You'll see what I mean. The rant. Respect for personal space. See, now I personally do not experience what this person was saying because everyone seems to think that I have some sort of gravitational pull that moves them as close to me as possible. But apparently in India, people just brush up against each other and like hit each other and push each other and do all kinds of crazy shit. So some guy from India said that we actually respect people's personal space here, which I don't agree with that. Most social events revolve around alcohol, but I know that this is the case in other parts of the world too. This person was trying to say that this only happens in America. I very strongly disagree. France, Rome, and Ireland to begin with. Like those three to begin with. Not to mention like Mexico. There's a lot of countries where the social gatherings revolve around alcoholic beverages. That is not just an American thing. We actually adopted that from a lot of other countries. That was not something that we came up with. That was something that we appropriated from so many other countries. Alcohol is a very integral part of a lot of cultural traditions in a lot of different countries. So I do not agree with that person at all. I actually put that on there so I could say that I don't agree with it. Divorce or single parent households are very common here, and that is not common in India at all. And I think that they were saying something along the lines of even if you do separate or think about getting a divorce, a lot of the times the couples stay living in the same house just to keep up appearances, which bothers me because that seems fake as fuck to me. While these people also call Americans fake as fuck, but like to me, I feel like we're very honest. And that's another thing that someone said is that we're very honest here. Even though we're fake with our positivity, we're also super honest about stuff. So that's kind of like a double-edged sword with us. We're loud and happy, but honest. Following traffic and safety rules in America are highly regarded, whereas in India, they are not. In India, you will just get run over. If you try to cross the street and there are cars coming, they won't stop. They will literally just keep going and like hit you. They just don't care. And nobody wears a seatbelt over there. They don't follow any of the laws of the road. They don't look at the signs. They don't pay attention to any of it. They just don't care. It's just like beep, beep, everyone going around honking at each other, acting all crazy. That's what this person said. This is not me making assumptions. That is what somebody else said on Quora. Someone in China said that Americans don't actively engage in conversations unless we have something to add, which I can see that. We'll just sit there waiting while you're talking and wait for you to finish unless we have something to add or unless you ask like a question or something during the conversation. Apparently in China, they actively engage in conversations. So if you say something, they'll repeat back what you said to show that they're listening, ask a question, reiterate something or add something or say something like, oh, I didn't know that, or that's interesting, to show that they're actively engaged in the conversation. To us, that's kind of rude, I feel like, especially in my group of friends. We don't like being interrupted, but we also all actively interrupt each other 24/7. So yeah, whatever. This I know from having seen it and having it done to me, that staring is perfectly socially acceptable in most other countries. In America, it is not. Don't fucking stare at me. Like, I know I am not alone in this. I know that there is a very large group of us who are like, don't fucking look at me. Why are you staring at me? I understand side glances to look at things, but some other countries, it is 100% acceptable to just like blatant, open eye stare at someone with no regard for how it affects them or how it makes them uncomfortable. So somebody was like, that is great. I love that about America. Thank you so much. I hate being stared at, which I've seen plenty of videos of people, Americans going to foreign countries and people staring at them, especially people who are, people of color or indigenous people, anyone who isn't white, they get fucking stared at, like deer in a headlights stared at. There's so many of those videos on TikTok. The last one I have is cussing in public and at work. In India, this is severely looked down upon. And so they said that that's why you might notice a lot of younger Indian men who immigrate here will cuss a lot in normal conversation because it's so socially unacceptable in England or in India that when they come here, it's like when a kid turns 18 and they're not allowed to do anything, they just do everything. That's what happens to them, is then everything is fuck this, fuck that, fuck you bitch, fucking hoe, fucking cunt. Like everything is fuck because they can say it now and they can't say it openly over in India. These aren't culture shock things. These are more just like funny turns of phrases that Andrew sent me, and then I'll get to the rant. But so these are just fun. I had never heard most of these, so I thought they were funny. A slippery fish is a clear paper sleeve, and I don't know, Andrew, if you meant like the things that you put like comic books into, or like vegetable, like produce bags, or what. I was not very sure about what you meant on that, so I'm just guessing. I don't know. I have no idea. Idiot is idiot. Is that you then? Usually means like, are you done? But condescendingly, like, is that you then? Basically, like, I'm guessing. Steamin' is drunk. Wind your neck in is shut up. Slag or a town wagon is a whore. I already knew that. I knew slag. I knew that one, but only from watching so much Absolutely Fabulous when I was younger. Here's my what? It literally says, here's my what? Which is an expression of shock, similar to what the fuck. Boggin means disgusting. Millie is like their version of chav. So it's a female who stereotypically wears tracksuits, has a fake tan, and behaves aggressively, which I don't even know if we would have any, like, we would call them basic here. Or like fuck girls, I guess we would call them. You're a melter means you're annoying as fuck, which I'm obsessed with that one. Fairy cake is cupcake. Buddy is a sandwich. Hotel is a restaurant, which that's weird to me. And a casket is a jewelry box, which I love that, and I want to use that forever because I want to put all my jewelry in a casket. So here's my rant, okay? Just if you don't want to hear me rant about, it says right here that I'm going to rant a little bit about tipping, the way other countries view us geographically, and how that affects our culture. So if you don't want to hear about that, about 10 minutes of me talking about that explicitly, then you might as well just skip to the end and listen to what I have to say when this episode's over. Because this is a very impassioned little speech that I'm about to give, because I was just tippy-tapping my little fingers away fucking typing because I was mad. Because, like I said, the way that some of these people talk about Americans it's the way that, like, they think we see the rest of the world. That's the only way I can think to word that appropriately, is the way that they talk about us is how they think that we see them in that light, which is not true for, like, I would say 75% of America, because 25% of America is real fucking stupid. There's no other nice way to put that. 25% of this country are fucking idiots. Probably way more, but I'm being really nice. Really, really nice with that figure. I have to take another smoke break before I do this because, like I said, it is an impassioned speech. And I've had a very stressful, anxiety-ridden day for no other reason than that my vagus nerve is going nuts and I just can't stop having anxiety today. I had to sit with a fucking ice pack on my chest earlier because I couldn't stop, like, hyperventilating and having racing thoughts, and it felt like I was in complete fight mode. So it's just not been a fantastic day, so we're going to just real fast cheers. So, like I said, this is mainly stemmed from tipping and tipping culture, but it affects other things too. So, we as Americans, at least those of us that have been in the service industry, want tipping culture gone. We would love that, especially because it's dehumanizing, taken advantage of by not only employers, but also customers, and it's a remnant of a time in our country's history that we shouldn't still be holding on to. Now, having said that, we as Americans want a lot of things in our country to change. Is this possible through a general strike or walkout? No. Why not? Because America is huge, like fucking humongous. We aren't all compacted into an area the size of New Jersey like some countries. It can take literally 9 hours to cross some individual states. Now, each of these states, for all intents and purposes, is its own tiny country, and they run themselves accordingly. Harken back to when Roe v. Wade was overturned, and conservatives would argue, saying it's the state's right to decide what laws are put into place. Now, you always have to remember that each state has its own culture, identity, and basically its own race of people. With there being so much distance between the states, each one becomes almost like an island that operates independently of the states around it and the rest within the union. The elected officials of each of these states, act like a team captain, and instead of all trying to work together to make things better for everyone as a whole, they are in constant competition with each other to make the most money, control the most people, or be in the running for the next big position that opens up. Maybe like 12 elected officials in all of this country actually care about the well-being of its citizens, and that's seen effectively all over the place. More than half of this country is tired and ready to change, and that group just so happens to be the poor portion of the population. Even with higher numbers, vastly more educated people, and a general better understanding of the ideal human experience, we're poor. Money rules everything here. So many non-Americans love to point out to us that our country runs on money as if we don't live here and feel the effects of the soul-crushing consumeristic wasteland that we are living in. Also, decitizenizing from America alone is like $3,000. Most of us can't save $300 because of the way our country is set up and run to benefit only those that are straight, white, Christian, and rich. The only way anything can get better is if we elect the people who actually want to make this country a place we are proud to live in, and if the neo-Nazis stop winning. Also, restaurant wages are set by the NRA, the National Restaurant Association, not the other NRA. They like to call themselves the other NRA, an organization created by white restaurant owners in 1919. This lobbying group does some silly, goofy little stuff like working to stop ending the gender pay gap, blocking bills to stop marketing of unhealthy foods to kids, and of course stopping the national minimum wage increase. Since 1990, they have injected more than $20 million into bipartisan political campaigns to stop wage increases and fair work practices for employees. They are made up of companies such as McDonald's, Denny's, Taco Bell, Disney, Olive Garden, Longhorn, and that's the really, really, really short list. This is all directly tied to the rampant obesity and all these huge gross people everywhere. As one Quora user so gracefully put it, fatty, unhealthy food is accessible and cheap here. Heard of a food desert? Probably not, and you're lucky because you have one. Some people only have access to fast food or ready-to-eat snacks at a corner store. There is no grocery store with fresh produce or hot meals ready to eat. In American culture, you have to work. So it's very common to see a homeless or displaced person with a smartphone, but no food. Because here the government will give you a cell phone, but not a hot meal. At least not without strings attached or hoops to jump through. I'm really sorry, all of us poor fat people can only get paid in tips because Disney doesn't like minorities. Or something like that. I feel like I should have written that like to music. Like I feel like that should have been like said with like an orchestra behind me, because I got tired of people bitching about tipping culture here in America. We don't want tipping culture. We fucking hate tipping culture. It is the most dehumanizing, degrading shit ever. To have a grown fucking man set 5 $1 bills on the end of his table and say, now if you're a good girl and you do a good job, you can have all 5 of these. To a grown human woman. Yeah, because that sounds like the best fucking time ever. Because that sounds like something we would choose to do. No, it's based in racism. Tipping culture, the act of tipping, it started when the slaves were freed, and white slave owners didn't want to pay their slaves, so they figured out a way to employ them without actually having to pay them. Thus, tipping started. And I really fucking hate people being like, it means to ensure prompt service. Oh, shut the fuck up. That's whitewashing. That's white people coming up with an acronym for a word that they created for fucking racism to make themselves feel better. Just like everything else. It's just a phrase or a turn of phrase created just to make white people feel better. So that's why I am so impassioned about this, because they act like we're all over here choosing to live in the culture of tipping and what comes along with it and what it's based in. But tipping is based in a part of our country's history that we don't want to hold on to. We want to talk about it, raise awareness about it, do the things we need to do to provide reparations for the group of people who were hurt by it so badly, and then not fucking repeat those things. The way that we're just continuing something 100+ years after it was implemented is fucking disgusting. It's fucking gross. So that's what this episode led me to, was being really fucking upset because for all the things that they say about Americans, about saying how we're uneducated, we're untraveled, we don't know anything about the outside world. If you think about it in terms geographically, we're actually more well-traveled than most people in the rest of the world because our country is so fucking humongous. I've been to Florida, driven there, back and forth 5 times. You realize that's like driving across the entirety of Europe multiple times. Like, that's what I'm saying when I say that they see us the way they think that we see the outside world. Instead of trying to figure out why we maybe do the things that we do, instead we just make generalized assumptions and then go around telling everybody, oh wait, that's exactly what they say that we do here. That gets fucking annoying. I have plenty of friends from other countries who are amazingly respectful, awesome fucking people. But you can tell in these comments, it was a whole bunch of older boomers, and then the people who weren't older were from countries where the anti-American propaganda is really fucking strong. Like, you can just, like, you can see what countries people are from, and in those countries, the anti-America propaganda is just everywhere. In some countries, like, they talk about us like we're entertainment, you know? Especially Canada, Australia, the UK, for the most part, they talk about us like we're entertainment. In other countries, especially smaller third world countries, where people see anything about America, it is propaganda about us. It is talking about how dumb we are, how fat we are, all these other things. So, you know what I mean? Like, as a whole, we as human beings should do better to understand where we're coming from instead of just making generalized assumptions about people, which is what a lot of people in the thread that I found all these answers from were acting. And also taking their personal moral beliefs and applying them to everyone in an area. Like when people who live in purity culture go out in public and get mad at random fucking secular people for wearing like tank tops and shorts. I am not within your fucking religion or beliefs. I don't have to follow those rules. That's kind of how some of these other people were acting. They were like, these disgusting, degenerate people. There's women smoking here. It's like, okay, that's only seen as a negative in your culture. That's not seen as a negative everywhere. Like, people have to think about that. And a lot of conservative Christians have been doing that lately, that thing where they're like, just because it doesn't follow your line of moral beliefs. I'm a fucking Satanist. I literally just believe that you should respect fucking human beings because they're alive. And that if something has been proven right with science, you respect that too. That's all I want. They're the 2 things that I want. I don't have a whole bunch of rules about what everybody can and can't do. But Christians are the ones who are like, oh, everyone's wanting to push their moral beliefs on everybody. I'm sorry, making you respect someone's pronouns and not call black people the N-word is somehow pushing my moral beliefs on you? Well, fuck, how are those 2 things not within your little Christian realm of niceness and being good and pure and going to heaven? Just like that's yet another reason I cannot believe in God is because of Christian white nationalists here in America. Which is a big thing that a lot of people who visit America said was a shock to them, was how openly people talk about their religion here and how if you don't align with their religion, they basically attack you. That's a big thing here. We all know that. We deal with it daily. But people who don't live in America coming to America, that is extremely scary to them because in other countries, there's religious persecution, so they don't know what can happen to them if they disagree. Like, they're not sure. They think that America is the land of religious freedom, and then they get here, and there's fucking crosses and Bible verses everywhere, and they're like, wait a second. That's not what all of that shit was about back in the day. Seems you guys have changed your tone a little bit. It's like they, we were bait and switched. Like, we're supposed to be thinking we have this one thing, when in actuality, it's just them fucking us over on the daily and pretending that it's a fucking surprise party. Now I'm just straight up ranting. I am not reading from anything. This is just me letting my anxiety out in audio form. I have literally no clue what I'm going to do about this break thing. I'm trying to decide if I want to do 10 episodes and then take a break, or if I want to keep making episodes until the end of the school year and then just take a summer break like the kids do, and then spend the summer compiling research together for episodes so that I don't have to like run my butt off the day of or the day before getting the rest of my research done so that I can record on Sundays and produce and release on Sundays. So I don't have any fucking idea what I'm going to do. I do now have the full website up with the blog. All the new episodes are going to be on there every week. Instagram, I have Facebook. I'm on every fucking streaming platform you can think of. You can email me at hb3pod@gmail.com. Thank you to myself. And thank you to Andrew for giving me all those sweet, awesome things that I did not know were different, and all the weird words that I did not know. Thank you to all of you for listening to me rant about literally fucking nothing and also everything at the same fucking time. It is everything, everywhere, all at once over here. Which, if you have not seen that movie, go fucking watch that movie right now. Block out 3 hours of your day and go fucking watch that movie, okay? It's fantastic. That is all I have for you. I hope you guys have a not bad week. In 5 days, I will have a 12-year-old. And then in 8 days, we will have a 9-year-old. So if I'm late on posting the episode next Sunday, it's because it is the girl's birthday weekend. I'm so fucking excited. We have birthday bags ready for them. It's going to be great. That'll be my exciting thing I talk to you guys about, is how they felt about their birthday stuff. So please be here whenever I'm here next week. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything stupid. But if you do something stupid, record it, send it to me so I can get a lot of views on TikTok. Have a good week. Love you. Thank you. Bye.
You dumb fucking bitch.
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 You bitch! The mega bitch!
Heinous bitch is the
Fucking bitch.
Bitch?
You're a bitch!
The bitch.
If you've ever thought about making your own podcast, I highly recommend using Buzzsprout. You can find a link in the show notes. And once you're there, they kind of explain everything for you. And it's really pretty cheap, honestly. They give you all kinds of tips and tools on how to increase listeners, how to promote your show, and on monetization. If you have any other questions, they are super responsive. They get back to you within a day, if not like an hour. I use Buzzsprout, and it gives me the ability to host my podcast on basically every single podcast hosting site and app. It's great. I love them. So I'm going to continue to use them. And if you're interested, you should definitely look into them. Like I said, there's a link in the show notes.